Good evening and welcome. I'm Selena Mead with the Vsb Tv 11 Evening News on this Monday, February the 10th. At the top of tonight's news, price monitors have informed Home Affairs Minister Senator Michael Fahey that since the introduction of the 10% discount incentive by local grocers, staple food item prices have remained at a moderate steady level, and there's been no evidence of price hiking in order to offer the 10% discount on Wednesdays. The minister said that other than the usual price increases for certain products, there was no evidence to indicate that there were any significant increases on products listed on the staple food basket list. In fact, what the Consumer Affairs study did reveal was that it would not be in the grocery store's best interest to engage in the potential price hike practices, which could very well be in breach of Bermuda laws. In other news, following a meeting with Finance Minister Bob Richards on the subject of proposed changes to the civil service, the Bermuda Trade Union Congress has issued a statement in which it expresses the hope that the purpose of the exercise is not to reduce jobs, wages, and benefits in a systematic way. It also states firmly that it does not support privatization initiatives. VSB's Brian Darby provides a general view of what the BTUC statement had to say.
The BTUC said it was introduced to the subjects of public service reform, downsizing and pension reform. In regard to the topic public service reform, the BTUC supports efforts by the government to make public service more efficient, more productive and to improve governance. However, it does hope that the aim of the exercise was not to reduce jobs, wages and benefits in a systematic way. It believes that this process should be driven by the civil service executive with minimal ministerial interference. As it relates to pensions, the BTUC understands the challenges that the underfunded liability will have as it relates to those who would receive the benefits and the government. And as a result, the BTUC says it is open to working with the government to find solutions to address the issues that they collectively face. As it relates to downsizing, the BTUC said it recognized the several methods were put on the table, such as mutualization, outsourcing of services and transformation in quangos for 13 proposed government departments. The BTUC do not support such privatization initiatives and responded to the minister seeking information as it relates to each department. The questions were: 1. What are the increased service costs to the public? 2. What is the total number of workers that will be adversely affected? 3. What proven model of privatization will be used? And 4. What will be the nature of the committee formulated to review the feasibility of privatization? Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Thank you, Brian. A 40-year-old man appeared in magistrate's court this morning and was charged with intruding on the privacy of a 14-year-old girl at Lindo's in Devonshire on February the 5th. The man, who cannot be named for legal reasons, pleaded not guilty to the charge. The court heard that the young girl was in the store shopping when the manager was informed that the defendant was carrying a bag with a hidden camera in it and was taking pictures of the skirts of young ladies. The defendant was confronted by store personnel and was detained outside the store until police arrived, to which at the scene he was arrested. The defendant was remanded in custody and will reappear on May the 28th. In other news, the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has made an official attempt to set the record straight about the real dangers of the Bermuda Triangle in an effort to counter the hype and mythical statements that has been circulating the world for the past 70 years, much to Bermuda's detriment. Writing on the NOAA website, spokesman Ben Sherman has reported that the U.S. government agency is prepared to publish its opinion that foul weather and poor navigation are likely to blame for any of the mishaps in the areas between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Said Mr. Sherman, there is no evidence that mysterious disappearances occur with any greater frequency in the Bermuda Triangle than in any other large, well-traveled area of the ocean. These comments are based on scientific evidence from the U.S. Navy and U.S. Coast Guard, which do not recognize the existence of the so-called Bermuda Triangle as a geographic area of specific hazard to ships or planes. The military branch said that in a review of many aircraft and vessels losses in the area over the years, there's been nothing discovered that would indicate that casualties were the result of anything other than physical causes. You may have noticed a Digicel advertisement running lately in a local paper with the cartoon of a woman above it winking with the following caption: "Below is the promotion Logic doesn't want you to know about." The ad concerns Digicel's free internet promotion. Subsequently, Logic has contacted the regulatory authority regarding the use of their name in this advert. And now the RA has released a statement which indicated that the ad is unlikely to fall into the category of unethical or unlawful conduct on the part of Digicel. However, the RA does feel the advert is in bad taste, especially in light of the fact that Logic has complained about Digicel's free internet promotion using the proper channels, and the promotion will not be suspended pending the outcome of an investigation. The RA went on to say that it would appear as though Digicel are using the circumstances of Logic's complaint to gain further commercial advantage over Logic, solely based on the fact that Logic used its rights to complain concerning the promotion. Capital G Bank has presented a check for more than $11,000 to Meals on Wheels, courtesy of the bank's 7th annual Holiday Giving Back program. The program dates back to 2007, and under its auspices, Capital G has committed to matching community donations to the fund each year. This latest presentation includes donations from the community, Capital G employees, and funds raised during the Gibbons Company Charity Shopping Day and Bureau's Lightborn Charity Shopping Fridays. This totaled $6,716, and with the bank's matching funds, this came to the grand total of $11,716. Capital G's co-chief executive officer Ian Truen praised the Bermuda residents who, despite challenging times, has donated again so generously. Still ahead, we have Rachel Sonnen with the weather preview.
Thanks, Selena. Fair to fine conditions continue, turning unsettled and breezy on Wednesday, but for now it's going to be dry. But please stay tuned for the full weather report as we take a look at the week ahead.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday, on 41 Victoria Street in Hamilton for your home appliance and hardware needs. Sears, washers and dryers, refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, a large array of Craftsman tools and accessories, lawn and garden tools, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, barbecue grills, and much, much more. Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday. Sears, bringing Bermuda the best variety at everyday low prices.
Did you make a resolution to save in 2014? One thing you can kiss goodbye is your internet bill. That's right, kiss your internet bill goodbye and say hello to free home internet for 1 year when you sign up for Digicel postpaid mobile service. You'll get free 6 meg home internet service, a $600 value, or $50 per month towards a faster internet plan for 12 months. Offer ends March 1st, so hurry in. Terms apply. See digicelbermuda.com for details. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Bermuda is an easy way to find great discounts while discovering fun activities to do in Bermuda.
Discover the best spas, restaurants, activities, services, and shops at 50% off.
Sign up to Bermudials and start saving today.
And welcome back to Vsb Tv 11. After seeing his jewelry business flounder during hard economic times, once business owner David Boyce now has renewed hope that things are turning around in Bermuda and has decided to give the business world another go. Mr. Boyce turned his former jewelry store in a name brand sunglass and watch shop called Sovereign Sunglass and Watch Shop. He hosted a grand opening featuring 2 celebrities, A-lister Michael Douglas and internationally known reggae singer Cully Buds, as well as Premier Craig Cannonier. Mr. Boyce told Vsb News what inspired his new business venture.
We did have a tough time in our previous store, Sovereign Jewelers, but we managed to keep our heads above water, and we decided that that with Bermuda changing the way it is, with the change of government, with just people generally being on the app, we thought it would be a good time to you know, to sort of change the image of our store and show that we really do believe in Bermuda.
The price ranges here are somewhat maybe higher than you might think most people would be able to afford in this climate, but you seem pretty confident that you will get the sales.
Yeah, I mean, we have kept our prices as competitive as possible with the U.S. retail. So yeah, I do think we should be okay. I hope we will anyway. I actually think there have been a few new businesses that have opened up, so that's certainly an indication that people are, you know, having a bit more confidence in Bermuda and the economy here. But no, I certainly think that you'll see a lot more as time moves forward.
Named for a beautiful group of Italian islands, the Borromeo String Quartet has been attracting ecstatic reviews from around the world's top critics for the past 24 years. But as the Bermudian audience will discover tomorrow night at City Hall, they aren't resting on their laurels. As spokesman Nicholas Kitchen revealed, the quartet has taken the magic of music, combined it with the magic of their computer, and placed their 4-part scores on laptop computers, while also projecting the composer's original composition on the screen for the audience to enjoy.
We don't want to overdo it because, of course, the composer never intended it that way. But what is remarkable, we use the computers to read our music, and that means that we can always play from the full score, which is already something which transforms the way we work quite fundamentally. But what we didn't expect was that it would also open the door to very easily working with the original manuscripts. And so, in fact, we now work with most of the Beethoven string quartets from his original manuscript, Schubert, Mozart, Schoenberg, many composers. And of course, what one finds is that you enter into their working process, and you can see on the page the multiple versions they tried, and what their doubts were, and what was sure, and this sometimes wonderful moments where you can just see that a new idea came to them on the page.
And that will be on the wall.
And well, what we do often is just give a little introduction and encourage people not to feel like they have to follow it all the time, because it can be a little exhausting. But I think anyone who looks at it, even if they don't read music, for one thing, you can follow it because it'll always be what we're playing, and so you can follow it in a general way. And of course, the composer really, just like someone's handwriting, and maybe even more so here, because they're imagining those musical lines, and it's quite obvious that something comes across in that writing, and you sense some of their energy.
To commemorate Black History Month, we enter our second week of the Black History Month series of historic films on the accomplishments of black people, which are shown at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. on Channel 11 on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The 3 films to be featured this week are Invictus, starring Morgan Freeman as Nelson Mandela, on Tuesday, The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington on Wednesday, and 500 Years Later on Thursday. Now let's take a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. Global shares rose slightly on Monday, encouraged that investors were weathering last week's disappointing U.S. jobs report. U.S. stocks fluctuated before Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen delivers her first report on monetary policy tomorrow. The S&P rose 0.16%, while the Nasdaq added 0.54%. No stocks traded on the Bermuda Stock Exchange on Monday. Other Bermuda-related stocks generally rose in line with U.S. markets. European indices ended mixed. Germany's DAX shed 0.1%, while the UK's FTSE 100 added 0.3%. France's CAC 40 gained 0.2%, despite data released Monday showing a sharper-than-expected slowdown in French industrial production in December. Most Asian markets were higher Monday as the region continued to recover from the substantial sell-off in the previous week. Hong Kong stocks fell as property developers and casinos shares slid. Latin American indices mostly declined. The Vsb fell 0.75% as investors increased bets on higher Brazilian borrowing costs. Mexican Bolsa lost 0.97%. Treasury yields traded in a narrow range amid speculation whether the Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen will acknowledge that the recovery in the U.S. employment is slowing. 10-year yields fell 1 basis point to 2.67%. The U.S. dollar traded mixed against major currencies. The Canadian dollar fell 0.21% to 1.11 per U.S. dollar. The yen gained 0.1% to 102.22 per dollar. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. People and Places is next after the break.
We live in a beautiful environment. One way to help keep it that way is to always remember your reusable grocery bag. If you forgot, you can still do your part in saving our planet by buying a Marketplace green bag for only $1.19. Not only are they good for groceries, but they're handy for many other uses. Always have your bags in sight of you or put your grocery list in one so that you don't forget your reusable bags. You and the Marketplace are helping to save the environment by choosing to reuse.
Tee up for golf. Join Port Royal Golf Club before February 28th and get 1 month free. Membership includes access to partner courses, discounts in the golf shop, PGA Grand Slam passes, use of Cambridge Beach's facilities, and more. With 25 member tournaments and the new Bella Vista Bar and Grill, we've also upped our social game. Join Port Royal and enjoy a private club experience at Bermuda's premier public course.
Visit portroyalgolf.bm.
As part of the Black History Month observance, Vsb Tv 11 is showing relevant films on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. As a result, NBC network programming, including Olympic coverage, will be interrupted at these times. In celebration of Black History Month, the Defense Broadcasting Company Limited is proud to present films acknowledging the contributions made by black people throughout the world. See these historic films at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during Black History Month. On Vsb Tv 11, sponsored by Belco, Lindo's, Gibbons Company, Bermuda Bistro, Caesar's Pharmacy, and Sports R Us.
And People and Places is next with Charles Webb.
People and Places with Charles Webb is brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
There are many forms of takeout, but I want to introduce you to something very high-end. Antonio Belvedere runs Pepinos, and this Valentine's would be an ideal opportunity to communicate with him to bring that very special romantic dinner right into your home. Antonio may still be your man if your choice of takeout is chicken, Chinese, or pizza. But this Bermuda College-trained chef can kick it up a notch with that extra touch in the menu that would surely tickle your fancy and your taste buds.
And today I prepared a different little twist on sushi. I did some sushi bowls, smoked salmon sushi, and some shrimp sushi bowls with a little seaweed salad on the side and some special sauce.
Now, when people call in for this elegant form of takeout, do they tell you what they'd like, or do you recommend?
Sometimes they don't really know what they want, so I would throw in a few ideas here and there, and we'll pretty much go back and forth until we actually come to a pretty decent conclusion. I mean, this right here is a good meal, and it's in.
What are some of the things you offer to people when they call in?
Well, Pepinos offers catering and personal chefing. The catering is pretty much the bigger thing right now. Personal chefing is pretty much like a new trend, I would say. A lot of people call in for buffet style. Not too many people call in for sit down anymore. But like the personal chef, and I've had a good bit of response on it. I've done a few already. I actually have one coming up where I have to go to a local hotel and cook inside one of their rooms for 4 ladies, lobster dinner.
We always think of personal chefing for those who are much more of a higher income bracket.
It's pretty much for everybody. It's for everybody. I can do a menu up to somebody that works sweeping streets if I had to. You know, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm willing to work with my clients and make it work if they're willing to, you know, make it happen.
Okay. So, when you're preparing for an order, what would be the first thing you do?
The first thing I do preparing for an order is get all my mise en place ready. Mise en place is pretty much everything from the ingredients right down to pots, pans, plates, silverware, whatever I need for the whole gig. So I'll just pretty much prepare all my mise en place, all the ingredients, put it all in, like let's say I need a half a cup of this. I'll put the half a cup in a bowl and put a whole cup of this ingredient in a bowl and just pretty much go from there. So when I'm ready to fire, everything's ready.
When you say fire, what size kitchen should your customer have?
To be honest, I can work out of any kitchen. I can work out of somebody's kitchen that just has a stove and an oven. You know, I'm pretty flexible.
What about accompanying this elegant meal? Wine.
Well, everybody likes a good glass of wine. This meal right here is definitely called for a nice glass of red wine.
And do you provide that wine?
I can provide the wine. I can provide a waiter. I can provide anything for the whole occasion. I mean, I see personal chefing more for intimate dining, like for Valentine's Day, for a couple, or for a birthday if somebody wanted to get their girlfriend or their wife or their fiance or whatever, a nice dinner for 2. I'll come to your house. I'll cook your dinner right in your kitchen, if that's what you wish, or I can bring it already plated and heated already and serve.
So tell me about your background.
I trained at the Bermuda College. A lot of people don't see Bermuda College as being a real good college, but it's definitely, I would say personally, it's a very, very great institute.
So for people who are looking to do something very different for this Valentine's, you have a recommendation?
Oh, yes, they can definitely call me.
And for this coming Valentine's, this could surely be a winner. Here is Chef Antonio Belvedere of Pepinos, of People and Places. I'm Charles Webb, Vsb News.
People and Places with Charles Webb has been brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Can you believe it's the new year already? Well, you can start out the new year right with beautiful new furniture. Treat yourself to the living room you've always wanted, or the perfect bedroom set. Our selection of dining sets is amazing. And if you're looking for a new desk or TV stand, look no further. So, whether you need a single piece or a whole house full of furniture, our huge selection is perfect for every room in your home. These prices won't last long, so call or stop in today.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, the president of the Bermuda National Athletics Association, Donna Watson, remains up in arms over the Sports Center Board of Trustees charging athletes a fee to train at the stadium.
Up until before the pool was built, even though everyone keeps saying it has nothing to do with the pool, no one was asking us for any track fees. And I have to say, because I have heard, people in the public say, oh, they should pay. We do pay. We pay for track meets. When the lights are turned on, we pay for those lights. So it's not like we're using that track for free at all times. Our athletes also pay registration. So we are paying a cost. But yes, we started this discussion probably September, which of course was after NetWest Island Games, and their statement was that they were going to start introducing fees the week of January 27th. Now, Mike, as you know, my athletes are in the throes of preparing for international competition with Carifta right around the corner. The sad thing is, I had a call yesterday from a coach. We have 2 athletes, Sakari Famous and Janai Parenchip, who have qualified in the high jump. Donna, where do we train? We're calling around schools, so these guys are going to go up, try to use T and Tatum, but as you know, that's not the right surface. So my concern, Mike, is if I take my athletes to Carifta, I'm prepared. Because of what's happening now, I'm not going to be pleased at all, especially when you talk about a Kyra Skraders. Over the last 2 Cariftas, Kyra has medal. This year is an important year because we have the Youth Olympics, and Carifta's a qualifier. You have to be in the top 2 in your event, which Kyra has. As you know, Kyra's won gold, Kyra's won silver. I would not be a happy camper if Kyra ends up placing outside of that, because it would be because of this situation. I mean, I don't understand why we can't reach some sort of agreement and say, okay, all the athletes that are training for international competition, and that's 13 and above, you know, should be allowed to use the track. What was the track built for?
And tomorrow we'll air the comments from the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Sean Tucker. We'll have the weather preview, actually it's the weather report, in full after the break.
We understand that a small leak can cause water disruption in a commercial building. And we know what it's like to have a pipe burst in your home at 11 o'clock at night. That's why for BAC Plumbing Services, there's no job that's too big or too small to handle at any given time. Our master plumbers are trained with the right expertise to finish the job in record time and at competitive rates. We are unique, like none other. We stand vigilant 24 hours, 7 days a week. Some call us the Special Forces of Plumbing, the Green Beret of Pipes, the Navy SEALs of the sink. You get the point. Call BAC at 292-0881 or visit bac.bm for more information or for a free estimate. BAC Plumbing Services. There's no piping system too big to handle and no leak too small to fix.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Our weather shot is brought to you by Shawnette Somner, taken at 7:25 this morning. Dockyard is seen from the ferry, bathed in beautiful golden light. We've got a rainbow on the side with a little bit of gray clouds in the background, and I believe on the other side of the screen there's a bit of a flare, not aliens invading and destroying Dockyard, but thank you, Shawnette, for sending this shot in. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 70 at 2 in the afternoon and a low of 62 at 7 in the morning. Current conditions, 66 degrees, humidity 75%, winds variable 5 to 10 knots, and barometric pressure is steady at 30.03 inches. Rainfall index for the month of February, 1.21, for a yearly total of 7.44, a little wetter than yearly normal of 6.91 inches. And looking at the satellite, weak high pressure holding over the area brings settled conditions through Tuesday. A low pressure system will deepen and move northeast along the U.S. East Coast on Thursday. This will bring strong winds by late Wednesday afternoon and strong gale force winds along with occasional showers and the risk of thunder on Thursday into Friday morning. And if you're traveling, Atlanta, rain and snow at 36, Boston, mostly sunny, 24, Charlotte, possible snow, 35, London, 46, heavy rain, Miami, 82, partly cloudy, New York, 26 and mostly sunny, Orlando, partly cloudy and 79, Philadelphia, mostly sunny and 26, Toronto, mostly cloudy, 14, and Washington, mostly cloudy and 31 degrees. And back at home tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 63, winds variable 5 to 10 knots. And tomorrow, partly cloudy becoming partly to mostly cloudy overnight with a high near 69, winds variable at 5 to 10 knots, and then kind of veering west-northwest at times, and then west-northwest 8 to 12 knots overnight. Rain tonight, no warnings. Seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet, seas outside the reef 3 to 6 feet, and the sea surface temperature is 71 degrees. Marine tomorrow, seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet, seas outside the reef 3 to 6 feet. High tide will be at 6:11 in the morning, and low tide will be at 12:45 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast, Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud with 1 or 2 showers, breezy with a high near 67. Thursday, cloudy with occasional showers and a risk of thunder, windy with a high near 71. Friday, mostly cloudy with a few showers, windy, high near 72. And Saturday, mostly cloudy with a high near 68. Thank you to Fred Briley, our meteorologist for tonight, and everyone at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sawden. Have a great evening.
And we thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us at VSB TV 11. Have a good night, Bermuda.
Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sawden, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.